great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease.
Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. Today is September 6th, 2024, and this is episode 667 of the Immigration Answer Show. One of our viewers over on YouTube suggested this week that we say what day it is when I do the live shows. I thought that was a good idea. Might help sometimes if there's a change in the law or if people are watching the back catalog. How's everybody doing? I just got back late yesterday from the Vid Summit YouTube conference down in Dallas. I had a great time. I got to see Caitlin O'Shea from our office, one of our intake attorneys. I got to see my buddy Kelsey and my friend Brian Manning, immigration attorney extraordinaire down in Dallas. I'll be here for the next hour trying to answer as many of your immigration law related questions as I can. I'll answer some questions from YouTube, some questions from TikTok. We'll be here for the full hour. Probably won't do a show tomorrow, but probably will do a show on Sunday before kickoff. NFL started last night with an exciting game between the Baltimore Ravens and a team that I'm getting to hate very much, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs of Kansas City. Just about sick of them, sick of the refs going their way all the time. How's everybody doing? The waiting room is wide open. There is nobody in the waiting room. If you want to come in and ask me a question, you should go ahead. David's back. Hello, David. You should go ahead and get in the waiting room. Huli has posted the waiting room link. There's 73 people watching right now on YouTube and 49 watching on TikTok. So if you want to get in the waiting room, now's your best chance. I'll be here for the next hour. So some interesting things in the news these days. Donald Trump is trying to flip-flop on immigration to say that there should be more visas given available to people to come work in the United States. It's such a joke how anybody could believe him as he tries to appear normal on immigration and ever take anything that he says as true. The man can't tell the truth to save his life. So don't believe him. Don't believe the hype. I'm beginning to learn this concept of these last-minute voters who don't really follow politics very much. And like the Trump campaign is counting on that and is counting on those voters to come out for him. And that's why he feels like he can lie and say whatever he wants. I saw an interesting story this week while I was gone at YouTube, no less. The Department of Justice has indicted two Russians who work for RT, which is the Russian news service, and they've been funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars to right-wing American commentators and YouTubers, and they've been spewing out anti-Kamala Harris stuff and divisive stuff against transgender people just on all the hot trigger buttons. They've been just doing whatever Moscow wanted them to do. I think it's a searing indictment, and I think that I think 40 years from now, that history will show that a lot of Republicans have been compromised or taken money from Russia, and that this thing that they're doing down in Tennessee, this indictment, is just the tip of the iceberg. I think a lot more is going to come forward. You have these guys who used to be pro-American, and now they've just switched. They've bent over backwards for Vladimir Putin and his positions. They've abandoned Ukraine, who's trying to fight for their survival. And I think that at the end of the day, we're going to see that Donald Trump and the Republican Party have all been compromised by Russia, and that a lot of this vitriol and negativity that you've been seeing is coming directly from Russia. Chief says, believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of Kamala Harris. She's a big communist. Where do you get that from, Chief? How is she a communist? I don't support her agenda on illegal immigration. Okay, well, what is her agenda on illegal immigration? Talk to me about that. Explain that. The thing is, if you push back on people that want to vote for Donald Trump on their policies, they have no idea what he's saying. Did you guys see the answer he gave yesterday? Lady asked him about how he's going to pay for childcare. Listen to the word salad. Listen to the gobbledygook. Maybe I'll play it for you later. The guy can't even string together a coherent sentence. He doesn't have any policies. His only policy is to hate and to vilify and to be as negative as he can, so that the people who Chief Okachara, Kamala Harris, does not want to support open borders. I wish she did. You're in the wrong place if you're trying to get mad about. If you're trying to get sympathy here for somebody who wants open borders, we should have open borders. We should allow people to come and go into the United States, keep track of them, have them pay taxes. We should open up our borders much more than they are. But she wants to sign the bill that Donald Trump told Republicans to not sign. So what you're saying doesn't even make sense. What you're saying isn't even accurate. She said that on day one, she'll sign a bill that was drafted by one of the most conservative senators in Senate, that guy from Oklahoma. Everybody was going to sign it. The Republicans were going to sign it. Biden was going to sign it. It would have been the toughest anti-illegal immigration bill. I didn't like the bill at all, but for all the different reasons, not the reasons you don't like them. So these things that you're saying, that she wants open borders and that she's a communist, those are the kind of things that they say on Fox News that are patently untrue. Look, here's another one. How is it that illegals can be naturalized, but we have immigrants in the pipeline that are waiting for, I guess, a long time? Okay, first of all, no one is illegal. We don't use that term on this show. We don't use that term in the comments. If you keep talking like that, you're going to get the Russian bootski. But illegals can't be naturalized. Again, Fox News talking points. Again, completely wrong. You probably are getting it from ChatGPT. I had a guy on LinkedIn the other day correct me on my understanding of immigration law because of what he read on ChatGPT. So, Chief, the things that you're saying don't make any sense. Certainly there are people who are waiting in line way too long. I've done more about that than Donald Trump did. I've sued them 2,000 times for situations like that. What did Donald Trump do for those people that were waiting in line? You know what he did? He made the line longer. He gutted the State Department and he put in all this fraud checking in to USCIS, and he wants to do that on steroids. So get your facts straight. If you're going to come at me with immigration discussions, you can't just rely on ill-informed, incorrect, invalid, inane, asinine talking points from ChatGPT and Fox News. All right, now we got some folks in the waiting room. Let's get this party started. Zia, I was going to call on Zia, but I got called on Cameron instead. How you doing, Cameron?
Hey, Mr. Hacken, I'm just following up with you. The 221G, we sent them what they asked for, and within 5 days, we picked up our visas. So good to go.
That's great. That's great. What did they ask for?
Since I'm in Germany, stationed here, they wanted a German police certificate from her since she's been here 6 months or longer.
That's great. So she's all set. When are you coming?
So we're gonna make it happen next month. So my question is, since I haven't gotten my new orders for my next location, is it a problem if I take leave to go to the States next month, but then leave after that?
And then she would stay in the United States?
So no, she's command sponsored. So according to my orders, she's supposed to stay with me.
So how long would you actually be in the United? More importantly, how long would she be actually in the United States?
I'm gonna be honest with you. We only get 30 leave days a year, so I was gonna go in and like 2 days later come out.
Does she have to do that?
According to command sponsorship, yeah, she has to actually live with me.
Well, then I would start talking to people in the military about what you can do to accommodate that. You might try to get someone to send the green card to her. I'm worried about the green card not coming if she's only in the United States for 2 days. Like sometimes that doesn't even register, and I've seen people have that status but not have the green card. So she's going to need a chunk of time in the United States.
So I think Andrew had told me he read off a policy that said that they do deliver official documents, such as a green card, to CMR APO addresses.
Okay.
That's the address that I put. The intending address, like the final destination, I put my mom's address, but that's also the same address that's on my driver's license. So
Yeah.
in a sense, it matches up with supporting documentation. And also on my leave request form, my first sergeant and my commander, I put in the comments the purpose of the travel. So I mean, it's trackable and it all adds up as far as documentation. And the last thing I'll say is there's a group for American service members in Germany that I've got a lot of my inquiries from people that have done it here.
Yeah.
And some people have said, like, we went on a 4-day weekend, got our I-551 stamp, came back, and the green card was mailed to them. So I just want to know, like, is the customs officer going to have some kind of discrepancy if they? Okay.
No, they're not going to give you any trouble about that. You'll be fine there. So just make sure you pay your LSV. Make sure you have someone tracking your mail, and then I think you should be fine. It sounds like there's a mechanism for military members. Hopefully it all works out. I think you should be fine.
Okay, so just as long as I got my documentation to support what I'm telling them, I should be okay.
I hope so. Yep, I think so. Thanks, Cameron.
All right, thank you.
Congrats, buddy. Happy for you.
Roger, thank you too.
See ya. All right. Let's go over to TikTok. Let's see here. How long does it take NVC? I need contact to employer services for my change of status. So our phone number is 314-961-8200, Governor, the real me. And our email is info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. All right, let's take another one. I went for interview with my husband and everything was good, but was asked to do vaccinations for polio. I've done the vaccination, but my lawyer refused to submit it. Should I wait for USCIS to respond? Jacinta, I think you asked me that the other day. I would go ahead and submit that. I would get my case moving. Sophia is here. Hello, Sophia.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm good. I have a question here. I filed for my husband 2020 with an I-130 with my daughter birth certificate included. And the I-130 did approve. However, they asked me to file the 1824 form. It has not been approved as yet. So here's my question. My daughter, who the beneficiary, and the form for my husband is here with me. Can I file for her here?
Okay. So you're a U.S. citizen?
No, I'm a green card holder.
And you're trying to bring your husband here?
Yes.
And how long ago did you file the I-824?
From July the 28th, 2022.
And they haven't ruled on it?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
2 years?
2 years, 1 month.
Wow. So, I mean, I can get that thing moving quick. Where do you live?
I live in New York.
Yeah. So if we sue them for that, we'll get that thing done. And then the case will get sent to the National Visa Center. Right. But is your priority date current for your husband?
Yes, it's current from May.
Okay. And then you were asking me something about your daughter, right?
Yes. She's 17. She's here with me. Could I let her stay?
Well, so how old is she?
17 years old.
And how did she enter?
With a visa.
Oh, like a visit visa?
Yeah.
When did she arrive?
She arrived the 8th of July.
8th of July?
2024, yeah.
So almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, did you say, Sophia, was it a visit visa or a student visa?
No, a visitor visa.
Visitor visa. So as long as she didn't have the intent to come and do that, but decides it after September 8th and you apply for an I-130 and a 45, the answer to that question is yes.
Okay.
But
okay.
they might think she tried to jump the line. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to prove that she had a round trip ticket, that she intended to go home, and that she changed her mind when she was in the United States.
Yeah, she have her own trip ticket.
Okay. Thanks, Sophia.
And yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you want her help with your daughter or with the lawsuit to get the 824 moving, let me know.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Hold on, Sophia. So, oh, that's right. Darn it. Thank you, David. Let me check something real quick before you go. So there's actually a problem because you're not. How long have you had your green card?
I have my green card from 2020, February the 14th, 2020.
My internet garbled. What did you say? How long have you had it?
From February 14, 2020. It's 4 years now.
So you're going to apply for citizenship in February?
Yes, I could do that. But my daughter, the other daughter is on the paper with my husband. She turned 21 January.
What about her?
So I don't know if I turn citizen, if she's still going to be on the paper. I fall off.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what. Could you send me an email or call the office, because I have to explain a couple things to you. We got to do it a little bit differently. Thank you, David, for catching that. Because you're not a U.S. citizen, there's not a visa available for her. So actually, what you'd have to do is file the I-130 for her, and then when the priority date becomes current, then file for the 485. And then, but if she's out of status, it's going to be tricky. So we got to talk it all through and come up with a timeline.
For the 17-year-old one?
That's what I'm talking about, for the 17-year-old. Yeah.
Oh, so I couldn't file the adjustment of status with it.
Not yet. Unless, have you already filed an I-130 for her or no?
No, I was planning to wait until the 90 days.
Yeah, but see, then you're probably, then you can only file the I-130. You can't file the 45. And right now, it's only July, August, September. It's 3 months behind, so it's going to be close because she has to be in status. You know, you might be able to do is file for an extension for her on her B1, B2, waiting for her priority to get the I-130 on file after 60 days. I wouldn't wait 90 days. I would do it in a couple weeks and then get a priority date. And then when the priority date becomes current, then she can file the 45. But this is going to be a tricky little thing to do. So I think you might need my help or somebody else's help.
Okay.
All right. Donna and all the yardies say big up, Sophia. All right.
All right. Big up, Donna.
All right. See ya. Oh, yeah. Everyone loves Donna. All right. Thank you. Yep. Donna says, Jim, big up. That's a yardie. Thank you. I think even I figured that one out, Donna. I love it. I love it. All right. So there's some congratulations I had to give. We got a green card up here. Who was that? Jonathan got their green card. I got my green card today without an interview. Your office helped out. All right. All right. You got to love that. And then I also saw, so that's good news. And then I saw this one that made me happy. For Ione, I'm a new citizen and I can't wait to vote, ready to exercise my right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. TikTok. All right. Oh, wait, those are old ones. Wait, those are with me in my suit. Those are old. What the heck? I got to figure this out. Do you think immigration will be processing all visas if Trump is elected? No, I think they'll slow down a lot of processing, and I think they'll stop processing some cases. I have a new video on Project 2025. I don't know if that dropped yet, but I lay out all the things they want to do immigration-wise. Bunny says, Doctor, I am 10 years married, but I really want a divorce, and he keeps saying no, and I don't know what to do. Well, Bunny, that all depends if you have your green card or not. That's going to determine, just because you've been married 10 years, I don't know what your immigration status is. So, Bunny, please try to give me a little bit more detail or come on over to YouTube. All right, so we got our good news out of the way. We got Sophia all squared away. Zia's been waiting. Hi, Zia.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
Good, buddy.
Okay. I think we talked before, like a year ago. I had my case with the BIA motion to reopen. It was pending before, and then I'm from Afghanistan, first of all.
Okay.
And my BIA motion to reopen was opened, like it was approved, and then my lawyer, he went and terminate my case.
Okay.
What I wanted to do, I wanted to go back to the Immigration judge, since I'm married and I had I-130 and it was approved too. But then my lawyer said, okay, you might not get a green card through your asylum because you don't have really good case. And we went terminate our case. So I have a TPS right now, and uh, we filed for advanced parole and also parole in place. So I'm still a little bit like curious. Is it safe to travel with my advanced parole since I don't have no criminal record or something like that? And also uh, with the I-485, my lawyer, he's a little bit like expensive. So how much would that cost, for example, to file for I-485 after when I got back?
So you entered without inspection?
Oh, yes.
When?
It was around 2016.
And then you claimed asylum, and then that got denied, and it got sent to the immigration court, and it went up to the BIA, and then it came back down.
Yes.
And then you married a U.S. citizen. Then you got that terminated, and you married a U.S. citizen, and you have an approved I-130, but you don't have a valid entry.
I was married to a U.S. citizen before when I filed for a motion to reopen.
Okay. So when you say it's expensive for your lawyer, what does expensive mean? How much are they asking for?
Well, what he asking about around $4,000.
That's not expensive. This case is a mess. Like, I would probably charge twice that.
So let's say, for example, when I re-enter, with like I'm inspected and I just go direct to file for I-485. I don't have to do anything else.
And this is the advanced parole you're talking about is advanced parole based on the TPS case?
Yes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that as things stand now, that's not a valid entry for purposes of adjustment. I
But
don't know for sure, but I remember there was a discussion about that about 2 years ago. So I don't know if things have changed since then.
well, you talking about the ZRZC, something like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I've heard from a lot of people and lawyers that they say that uh, they approve your entrance. Like if you're a spouse of a U.S. citizen or like something immediate relative, they approve that.
That
I
may
don't know.
that may be, but I'm not your lawyer, and I'm not going to tell
Mhm.
you on a call like this that it's safe for you to leave the United States. I would never do that because it's too risky. I'd have to research it and tell you that it's safe for you to go. I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head.
Oh, so you have to check like my whole case and everything, and then you.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So how can I like do you have anything
Yeah.
that I can contact?
Yeah, for sure. So you can email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Just say I'm Zia. I was on the show. Send me all your paperwork. Okay? Send me everything you got, and then we can talk after that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye, Zia. See you, buddy.
Bye.
All right, I have a little bit of an announcement. I want to hear what you guys think about something. I've been excited to tell you about this. So we have a lot of people. This is episode 667. We've been doing a lot of content and stuff on the show for a long time. To me, I don't know about you, it seems like one of the main things people want to know about are marriage-based green card cases. Like, to me, that's, other than lawsuits, those are sort of the two things that people talk to us about all the time. And so when I was down in Texas, I was doing some thinking like I want to do. And I'm thinking about offering a new service. And the service would be a couple going through the marriage green card process that has a green card interview coming up would send us their documents. I would review them. And then either Amani or I would review them. And then we would do a 1 hour mock interview with you, or a 45-minute mock interview with you. We would do a green card interview with you and your spouse, and we would record it. And there's sort of three options for what, and so this would be to get you ready for your interview. This wouldn't be us being your lawyer. This wouldn't be us taking over the case. This wouldn't be us going to the interview. If you wanted us to do that, that would be separate. So this is just because, you know, there's so many people that come on the show and that need our help, and they can't necessarily hire us to come to the interview, and we don't necessarily have the time to go to the interview. But what I'm thinking is, this is the part that I really like. This is the part that got me excited. So we would have three options. So the first option would be you find some way to come to St. Louis, and we would charge you $3,000 to do an in-person prep. Or you could do it on video and only you would get the recording. In other words, we would record it, we would keep it, you would keep it, and you could watch it again to get ready for your interview, and we give you tips. The last 15 minutes would be us sort of giving you a score, seeing how you did. And if you wanted that to remain private, it would be $2,000. But what makes me excited is the third option would be we start this group. And in the group, if you agreed, we would make your application, make your recording anonymous. In other words, like I was thinking one thing we could do is we could just call everybody Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Smith, or Mr. Smith and Mr. Smith. In other words, don't use people's real names. So like while we're interviewing them, we would just call one Mary and one Franny, or one Frank and one Joe, whatever it is, right? And for that one, we'd only charge $1,000. And then everybody who does it gets access to all the other recordings. And that way they could train watching themselves, and they could train watching other people. And also I thought we could do like we could do an email sequence before, like to get you ready for the plus, you know, for the interview itself. So option A, pay a bunch of money. Yeah, you would have to show your face, I think, T. I would want it to be a recording. I'm trying to recreate the experience of being in an interview, because, you know, everybody loves that video of Amani doing that mock interview on YouTube. I don't know if people would like this. I think people would like it. So it would be $3,000 if you want to come into the office, $2,000 if you want to do it just you and your spouse and nobody else other than us ever sees it. And the third would be the $1,000, and we just put it into like a closed community. And again, it would be like Yassine and Donna, right? It wouldn't be like their full names. Robert says, just be careful that people don't back out later to get the cheaper price and take out their session. I'd have to think that through. Yeah, that's true. The OGs would be at a disadvantage. That's true, but I don't know what to do about that, Laura. But what do you guys think? You think it's a good idea? I don't know. Do you guys on TikTok think that would be helpful? Is it you think it would be valuable for people? Because I don't want to do it if I don't think it's going to be valuable, but I think it would help a lot of people get ready. And, you know, Trump says if he gets elected, everybody's going back to interviews. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it and see what happens. Gabriella says she votes yes. I'm going to try this. So if you want to do it, if you want to be the first one to try it, it's just going to be me at first. We'll see if there's any interest. And I'll probably just to practice. I'll tell you this. The first one I'll do for $1,000, but I'll keep it private just to practice. And then I think we'd get a lot out of it. I think I'd get better at it. I think because people have talked about doing it on the show, but I think on the show is too public. And obviously we already know that USCIS officers watch the interviews or watch the show. So I think that'd be a little risky. But to me, if I've done the case all by myself and I do get an interview notice, I think that I'd feel a whole lot more comfortable going through this, especially with Amani, right? Yeah. So Shabam's asking, yeah. Would you act as a judge, give feedback such as good interview, likely to pass, bad interview, likely to fail? Yeah, for sure. So what I'm thinking is, you know, the interview goes 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And and then the last 15 minutes would be us scoring it. We'd probably give you some notes and then talk it through in the last 15 minutes. Yeah, maybe like when we're doing it, I would just be the officer. Like I wouldn't stop. Like when I do an interview prep now, I'll stop and I'll say, okay, I'm not Jim the officer anymore. Now I'm Jim the lawyer, right? So, but I wouldn't do that. I would just play it straight so that you get the feeling of what it's like, because it's a different thing. If you guys have seen Amani doing that thing, she's pounding and she's flipping through all the pages, and it makes you nervous, right? It makes you nervous, and that's what happens when you go in there. So, yeah, Eve says, I like the idea. I just don't like the pricing. Yeah, I get that. I get that for sure. Alejandro says, I think keeping the identity private is a big matter. Yeah, I'd have to think that through. Got to figure it out. Mel says, yeah, add it to the website, schedule mock interview. We choose the date and pay. Hey, I went ahead and registered a domain name because that's what I do. It's just called, there's nothing on it yet. It's greencardinterview.com. I couldn't believe that was even available. So, Hina says someone on TikTok's asking if we could do it for N400s as well. I'll think about it. But listen, if you want to do it, just so I can practice, maybe one time, I'll do one next week just to see how it goes. And you want to be the first one to try it, just send me an email, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. In the memo line, just so we see it, just say I'm in or we're in, something like that. Just use the word in so we know that interests you, and then we'll try to rig it up for next week. I think it'd be really valuable. I think it'd be really valuable for people, especially if there's issues in the case. I think you guys know that I've gotten better at like figuring out what the issues are in the case. I think it'd be fun for me. Gabrielle says, I don't want mine public. So the deal is, so the first person that I do, I'm going to do it for just $1,000, and it'll be private, just so that we get practice on it. And then maybe everyone will say, they want it private. And then maybe we'll just do it that way. I don't know, but let's try it. Donna said, oh, I'll get to H&M in a minute. Donna said, Jim, remember I was telling you to raise your fee and a lady cussed me out. I know some people really can't afford it. Just save it, called sacrifice. Please don't come for me now, people on the platform. Everybody leave Donna alone. She's just looking out for me. H&M says, maybe a audio thing, like a radio show. Yeah. I mean, would you guys watch other people's green card interviews? I don't know. I think if we put them on here, people would watch them all the time. Like, I think we've done sort of mock interviews as people get ready for their interview. Yeah, see, people would like to watch other people. That's the thing. So the whole reason I started this show is because I wanted to recreate the atmosphere of what it's like to do a consult with an immigration attorney. That was the whole thing. Like, this is great. This is great. Sahid says, I will watch other people's green card interviews. Yeah. Mm-hmm. JD says, nosy city. Nurse Lar says, I'm one of those nosy bees. T-Travel says, I would. Lynn says, that's why we're here. Eve says, I would love to watch N400 interviews. Yeah, John on TikTok says, it would be nice for people to know what to prepare for with their case. And Lynn says, this is the target audience. Yeah. Yeah. Hina said, I watched Amani's interview before mine, even after Andrew prepped was pretty good. So, wow. All right. Well, maybe we could have a cheaper version where if you don't even care if it's on the show, I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a good idea though, overall, and I think it would be fun. So if you're interested, again, first thing we're going to do is try it out one time, $1,000, 45-minute interview. You know, I would have to review your documents and everything ahead of time just to have a good sense of the potential issues in the case. And then we just go and we would do the I-130 and the 45, and I'd probably mix it up because some officers do the I-130 and the 45. If you tell me which field office you're going to be from, I could probably, if I've been there before, channel the feel of the office. I think this thing has legs. I think it's a good idea. I think people would be interested. So if you want to do it, Yeah. JD says the more you see interviews, the more you become a pro. I think that's right. I think that's right. So, all right, let's get back to asking questions. And Shub is here. Hello, Shub.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Good, good.
Hey, so I filed for a marriage-based green card in February 2nd this year, and I got my combo card, I believe in May, and which is great. And then I got an RFE essentially last month, and that's been received. So um, I wanted to plan a cruise with my wife. And I was wondering if my combo card would work as a reentry in back into the United States. I spoke to my lawyer and he said it's best to use the combo card for like family emergencies or something really important, but not so much with like travel. So I'm kind of hesitant to make those reservations. Wanted to get your thoughts to see if it makes sense to use a combo card for a cruise.
We've had people use it many, many times. You know, are you going to be able to get into the countries that you want to visit? Like, does your passport allow you into those countries?
So I'm from India. That's a good point. I guess I'll have to look to see if I could get a visa into Barbados or wherever the cruise would be docking.
I mean, a lot of times I think those cruises just sort of arrange it so that I don't know if you actually, I guess you do get, when we went on a cruise, we got a stamp, but I haven't been on a cruise in 20 years. So you might check that. But to me, it all comes down to if you were in status at the time that you got married and filed, and this advanced parole would just be used while your green card case is pending, then I'm okay with it. If you were out of status, then I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. You do it on something. I mean, you have the right to do it. You don't have to leave it just for emergencies. But if you're out of status, I might be a little bit more concerned about leaving on advanced parole.
Okay, so out of status would be like my green card is denied for whatever reason, right?
While you're gone, you mean?
Yeah.
I think the chances of that happening are very, very small.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah. I mean, we're planning for this to be like next year, like in February of next year. So
Well, you might
hopefully
have
I'll
your
get the green card.
you
Yeah.
might have your green card by then.
Yeah, I have some family travel coming up at the moment to India, so I'll be gone for like a month for the month of November just to visit some family there, and it's
Yeah.
after that I'll come back for the cruise.
All right, let us know.
Okay, cool. Thanks a ton, Jim.
Bye, Shub. See you, buddy. H&M says, one major thing we all forgot is whether people will tell you the whole truth about their cases. We see how often you have to go length to go to make the truth come out. I think I can pull it off in 45 minutes. All right, let's go to TikTok. Hina's got some questions for me. All right. Okay, this is Nakuli just asked me this, but it's basically the same question Shub just asked me. I just got my I-131 approved travel document. I'm a spouse of a U.S. citizen. Think I can travel? I have a daughter outside the country. To me, it all comes down to whether you were in status or not. If you were in status, I'd be okay with it. If you were out of status, I'd wait for the green card. How long is a case being actively reviewed by USCIS on N600? The funny thing is N600s are only supposed to take 6 months, but they usually take about a year and a half. So I wouldn't be too worried about that, Abdullah. Simply Rude 00. I filed for divorce. My wife filed for vow. It was a fraudulent marriage. Can I report it? Anybody can do whatever they want to do. You certainly have the right to report it. Can I use my EAD in a different state from my spouse? Yes, the citizen Yav Kessie is asking, can I use my EAD to work in a different state from my spouse? Yes, but I have a whole video about that on my YouTube channel. So it's whenever you're working away from your spouse, you have to show 3 things. Number one, that there's a very good reason that you're living away from your spouse, that the job you have and the job they have keeps you apart by definition because you're a doctor and you're in Buffalo and the job is in Buffalo. It can't be a job that's interchangeable like Uber or Amazon driving, because the question would be, why can't you just do that where your spouse lives? So number one, is there a good reason why you're apart? Number two, what are your efforts to see each other? Document the heck out of that. When do you go see your spouse? How long do you spend together? Keep track of your mileage, keep track of your gas, keep track of your plane tickets, keep track of hotels, any of that stuff. And then the third would be, what's the long-term plan? What's the long-term plan? So it's a bigger issue than just, can I use my EAD in a different state? You have to think about all the aspects of that, keeping in mind that you've got to prove it's a real marriage, and if you're living apart, that cuts down on that. Certainly approvable. We've had many cases just like that, but you got to think it all through, and you got to be ready to explain yourself. Jim did it in the house. Hello, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Can I be on off camera?
You are off camera.
Thanks. Long time listener, first time on the show. I've been listening to you the last 3 years.
Nice.
I moved from Canada just by listening to you, and I called you guys. I applied in December 18. My work permit. I got my work permit in February 2nd. Biometric on January 17. What else? I-130 in August 26, and I-18 485 on the 24th. I had even I-131 approved in July, so everything's done. I'm waiting for my green card. It's gonna be arrived today, this afternoon.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you to I forgot his name. I'm in Maryland, so
Andrew or Tim?
Andrew.
Or
Yes,
Andrew.
Andrew, and special thank you to Constanza.
Connie, yep, for sure. Awesome.
Special thank you. She is above and beyond. I just want to say to everybody who's watching this, everything you hear here, it's real. It's like whatever they said they will do it, they do it. It's true.
Oh, thanks so much. As soon as we're done, we're gonna send this over to Connie and to Andrew. Thanks so much for the call.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. You got it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Hey, I don't know if you guys remember, we're going to have another fellow who I helped out on the show. That was a great call. That made me happy. Do you guys remember the guy who they asked for the wife for her death certificate, but she was still alive? I wrote them a mean letter saying I was going to sue them and how dumb they were, and they approved the case. We didn't even have to sue them. So that was he's going to come on the show next week, I think. So good stuff all around. Let's go back to TikTok. What if my U.S. citizen husband is not in the U.S. for the duration of changing of status? He works abroad. That can be tricky. Again, you're going to have to prove why you're apart, why your husband's overseas, how you see each other, what the long-term plan is. The problem is if they're in the military, you're going to get a lot more forgiveness than if it's just for a job. But the problem is if there's an interview. So that's the thing, because they can approve it without an interview. They approve I-130s all the time, but they don't always like to. So you might need to explain some things to them. They usually don't like that. All right. If you got a question for us on TikTok, leave it here and Hina will drop that for me. All right. That was good news. We always like getting the calls. Looks like this might be some good news too. Hold on a second. I-485 approved. Hello.
Can I be off camera, please?
You are off camera.
Okay, so I just got my conditional green card through marriage.
Nice.
Yeah, and but the thing is, I first came to America in 2021, and I met my wife in 2021, but I went on a visitor's visa. I went back to my home country in 2021. I didn't overstay or anything. I went back to my home country for like 6 months. But the thing is, while I was in my home country, I got a girl pregnant in my home country, which I wasn't sure the child was mine. But by the time the child was born, I was already back in America with my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife. So the child was born while I was in America. I never met the child before. I just got my green card approved, and I'm about to go back home so I could get the DNA test and stuff like that. So I'm wondering how would it go, because that my daughter wasn't mentioned on any of my filings or anything like that, because she was born like 8 months after I was in America, because it was literally my then girlfriend literally got pregnant like a month before I left. So I'm wondering, how am I gonna do that? With my name is not on the birth certificate or anything. I've never even met my daughter.
Okay, so let's back up. When did you come to the United States?
I went permanently 2022, February 2022.
And what kind of visa did you have in February of 2022?
Visitor's visa.
And what was the purpose of your visit?
Just the vacation, but I ended up staying.
Okay, so you overstayed? Did you overstay? I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him? My internet's wonky. Can you hear me? Okay. I-45 approved. Are you still there? I don't know. Something happened to his audio. I can see. Oh, he just dropped out. Maybe he'll come back. Let's give it a shot. H&M says, we've had this issue before, but that person got both his wife and girlfriend pregnant at the same time. That is true. That's true. All right. Is he coming back? I don't know. Sounds like a messy situation, but you got to get that timeline down, because the timeline is what's going to determine the whole thing. If he's not, if he tries to here he is. Let's see. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I got you off camera again. Okay, so you come in February 2022.
Yeah. I got married in October 2022, and I recently got my green card in August 2024.
You're jumping ahead. So I want to write this down so I get it right. So February 2022, you enter.
Yeah.
October 2022, you get married. When do you file for adjustment?
July 2023.
Why did you wait to file for adjustment when you're out of status?
I got a lawyer at first because I was gonna file as soon as I got married, but I got a lawyer at first, well, a so-called lawyer, which I paid money to start my filing process, and the lawyer just went ghost.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was it a real lawyer or a fake lawyer? Not a lawyer.
it was a real lawyer. He got disbarred for some other stuff.
Well, then
Yeah.
that's probably good. That's probably good he didn't file for you if he got disbarred, because that would have been a mess. Okay, so July of 2023, you filed. Did you have an interview on the green card?
No.
When did you get advanced parole on the?
Yes, I got
When
my advance parole in January 23.
January of 24?
24, yeah, 24, yeah, January 24.
January 24, you get approved for
Work
advanced
permit.
parole.
Yeah, work permit and advance parole.
And then when do you go back to Jamaica?
I'm planning to go for the Christmas season.
Oh wait, but when did you get the kid pregnant? When was the baby conceived and when was the baby born?
The baby was born in September 22.
Okay, so right before you got married.
Yes.
Okay, and okay, so when did you find out that there might be a baby out there that might be yours?
Well, I found out from like March or so, but I wasn't sure because the girl, we weren't together. It was just like I wasn't convinced it was my child at the time.
So that's March of 23.
Yes.
So the baby mama reaches out to you in America and says, "Hey, you've got this kid and you're not sure."
Yes.
Okay. So did you go back home after you got advanced parole in January of 24?
No, I've never been back home since I've been here.
Okay. And did you have, you might have told me this already, did you have an interview on the green card or no?
No.
No interview. Okay. And does your spouse know about this?
Yes, she knows about the child now.
So, okay. When you came in February of 2022, did you know the person that you ended up marrying, or did you meet them for the first time in the United
No,
States?
I know. I knew them. I knew them from. I was in here in 2021, also visiting. That's when I met my wife. But
Okay.
we weren't together then. But we knew each other.
Okay. Well, when you came on your visit, did you go stay at her house the first day you got here, or did you actually go on a trip?
No, no, I didn't stay at her house the first day. I went on a trip, and
Okay. So, so when you filed the I-130 and the 45 in July of 2023, you didn't put down this kid because you weren't sure they were your kid.
yeah, I'm still not sure because I still didn't
Yeah.
do the DNA.
Right. Right. Okay. So what's your question for me? I understand everything now, and I got a good timeline. So what's the question?
How do I go about? Because I'm planning to go in December, and now I'm kind of more convinced that it's my child because the child is growing and look just like me now. So yeah. So I'm wondering what's the process because my name is not on the birth certificate or anything.
Yeah, so
So
that
then,
you'll have to talk to a lawyer back there about how to do that. I don't know anything about that. Immigration wise, it's going to be tricky because they're going to say that you didn't approve the kid or you didn't name the kid. They approved your case. If they knew that you had a baby with a woman back in Jamaica, they would have probably called you in for an interview and not given you the green card. So this is going to be tough if you ever apply for that kid, or the next time you apply, when you apply for your 751 or your N400, you're going to have to list that kid if you know that they're yours. So that's going to
yeah.
put your whole green card at risk.
Oh, so you're
Because
saying I shouldn't sign the birth certificate or anything? I should just.
I'm not telling you anything you should or should not do. I'm just telling you the issues that I'm spotting.
Okay.
I'm not telling you what to do because it all depends what your long-term plan is. But what I'm saying is I would find out. I mean, you might want to find out if the kid is yours, and if they are, then you have to think about. Then you got to list them on your subsequent forms. Then you're gonna have to explain to them why. I mean, I think if you name them at the 751 stage and say, "Look, I didn't know this kid was mine until we got this DNA test in November of 2024 after I got the green card. Otherwise, I would have listed the kid. This lady came out of nowhere, said I was the father, and
Yeah,
I went."
yeah, yeah. Because basically that's what happened.
Yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. I went, I got my DNA. I've been paying child support. I'm still a good person. My wife knows all about this. And it's just sort of how it is. I thought when you first called, what I thought you were saying is you got advanced parole, you went home and you got advanced parole off marriage and then went back home and married or got somebody pregnant. That's a much different
No, no, no,
situation.
no, 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 no.
Yours is much more understandable
Yeah,
because you basically had a one night stand in December
yeah,
or January, and then in September you found out, and then October you got married. Yeah.
yeah.
So I tell you, the most important thing is going to be how your spouse handles it if you get a
My
751.
spouse is good. We talked about it. She was upset at first, but now she's good. She
Okay.
she's yeah, she's very good with it now.
All right. Well, keep us posted.
All right, I will. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Bye. Kentisha, are you driving or not? If you're not driving, if you're driving, go like this. If you're not, she's driving. Yeah, she's driving. I'm gonna go to Mickey. Hi, Mickey.
Hi, how are you, Jim?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad I could finally get you. I got your name from my brother, and I just had a question because we filed for my sister actually filed a petition for my brother, and this was like 10 years ago, and we filed we did the paperwork after everything was approved. We did the paperwork, which we did using a lawyer. And now we're just looking at the documents as they went through the whole process, the 130, the 484, and the DS 260. My brother noticed that there were some mistakes that were made, which were like questions like, "Have you been to America?" The lawyer put no, and he has. Um, and certain names that are not correct. So I was wondering, is there a way to correct that? He has not been. Things have been approved, but he has not been called for an interview yet.
Because he's still like 5 or 6 years away.
To get an interview?
Yeah, if you said they applied 10 years, what country is he from?
Oh, the DRC Congo?
Yeah, so right now for almost all countries except for like India, Philippines, and Mexico, you're talking a 17, 18-year wait. So I would send certified letter to the National Visa Center with all the corrections and say, hey, just so you know for later, these are the corrections that we need to make. And then they'll be able to handle all this when the visa comes. But the fact that you noticed it now, you might as well tell them so that it looks like you're trying to, keep everything above board.
Okay, so I send the certified letter to where? The National
Visa Center. That's who has the DS-260. You could try to get them to open it back up. What you could do is send them the letter, document it, keep proof that you sent it to them, and then ask them to reopen the DS-260 so that you can update it. But I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about it. I think one letter with proof of delivery is really all you need right now, because you're going to have to clean this up later. It's like the door's closed, and you're going to try to get them to open the door for a minute to fix it, but they're probably not going to let you.
Oh, but at least sending a letter, a copy of the letter, and saying that at least you made an effort to correct it will show proof that we try to make an effort.
I think that's right. That's the only reason I'm doing it. So I wouldn't bang your head on the wall. I wouldn't do it until somebody answers the phone. I would just do it, try it once to get it reopened, and then see what happens.
But what's their address? I mean, how would I find it?
I'm sure there's a way on the SEAC website for their address. I don't know. It's in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I don't know the exact address. I'm sure it's on there.
Okay. So would it be like almost starting all over, or just? No,
I would just look for. Yeah, I have a video on my YouTube channel. It's for USCIS, but the same thing works. It's called Errata Sheet, ERRATA, ERR, like error, ERRATA. If you look that up on my channel, it tells you just how to do it. Basically, you're going to write down all the questions that were marked wrong, and then you're going to put the right answer with an explanation for each question.
Okay, I see. Okay, well, thanks a lot. I'll go ahead and do that, and if I need to get back
Thanks.
Video with you, I'll do that. Right. Thanks for your help. Have a great day.
All right, you too. All right, I'm going to go to TikTok, and then I'm going to go back to Kentisha. Just 1 second. King Trucker says, dude, you're awesome. I contacted your office earlier this week. I got really good advice. Well, I'm glad to hear that, King Trucker. Thanks for watching. Jay says, hello, I scheduled for an interview, but my husband doesn't want to talk to me, stop coming home, etc. That's a big problem. Jay, check out my YouTube channel. I have videos on just what to do when that happens. All right, Kentisha, how you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
Good.
Okay, so I have just a really quick question. Okay, so I don't know if you remember me. I have talked to you like a couple times before, and so just to kind of reiterate a little bit, me and my husband, we have an I-130 that's been pending. It's going on like exactly 12 months. Maybe on the 27th of this month, it'll be 12 months. Okay, so I just recently found some information stating that I could have filed, along with my I-130, I could have filed the I-485 as well. But since it is still pending, I was told that I can still file that, and it'll kind of move the process along a little bit faster, considering that I feel possibly that any day now they can probably contact us.
Isn't he overseas?
Yes, sir. He's in Gambia, in West Africa.
You can't file a 485 for people that are overseas. 485 is for people who are inside the United States. So you're going a different route. You're going to do the I-130, and then you're going to, once the USCIS approves it, then you're going to the National Visa Center, which is a whole other department. It's the State Department. And then you sort of start over. Yeah, so 485 would just be a waste of your money. Don't do that.
Yeah, and I knew that because it's $1,400, and that's why I was like, well, let me just ask questions about that first before I do it, because I didn't want to waste my money. So I just wanted to ask questions first.
No, and if you're at a year, you said you're just at a year?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we at maybe on the 27th.
We're seeing right at 14 months. The I-130 is away. We're seeing 14 months. So you probably got 2 more months with USAID, and then you got to go to the National Visa Center, okay?
Okay, how long does it take at the National Visa Center? Do you know?
Well, it'll take 7-8 months to get them documented and qualified, and then you're waiting for an interview in Gambia, and I'll let everybody else ask about that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, actually, it'll be in Dakar, Senegal. So is there anything that I can do to kind of speed that process speed it up a little bit more? Just basically fill out the DS-260 and
Just
whatever
wait
else
in
they
line.
need. Yeah.
Yep, you're just waiting.
Okay.
Thanks, Kentisha. All right, see ya.
All right. You're welcome. All righty.
All right, see ya. All right, I think that'll do it for today's show. That'll do it. We'll be back. Like I said, I'll do a show probably on Sunday. If you're not on our text line 314-470-3300, we'd be happy to let you know when our next show is live. It'll be sometime on Sunday, probably 10 or 11. And then if you want to do us a favor and leave us a 5-star review on Google, that would be most appreciated. Just go to reviewhackinglaw.com. And then finally, if anybody's interested in that idea I had for prepping you or doing a mock green card interview, let us know. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll see you Sunday or Monday. Bye, guys.
I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are